It's morning. It's 7 a.m. I had a pretty good night last night, actually. Didn't do bad. They said it was going to be cloudy this morning, overcast, but the sun is out and looks like it's going to be another gorgeous day. So I've just plugged in my kettle, so I'm just making a cup of tea. I'm going to do my second morning porridge, which looks like this. It's doable. And I've de-damped the windscreens. I'm going to get my head together, then I'm going to pack away all my bedding so that it's all back in the IKEA bags, get tidied up, get a bit more organised, and then I'm going to go off to my one stop of today before I head home, which I did speak about yesterday, but as I said, my phone seems to have wiped a load of footage, and I tried to record something on it this morning and it froze, so I think we may be coming to the end, which means I'm not too sure how I'm going to manage this phone, because not really because of space, because I've got 2 hard drives, but because of battery life. I might need to buy a cheap second-hand mobile phone just to use as a camera, like another Samsung Galaxy. My little phone, which has been working, is, it's about 6 years old now. And I still have my other one, but I think I'm going to have to get another one if I can get a cheap one. I feel like this one's on its way out. Something's up with it. Anyway. Oh dear. Such is life. Right, I'm going to get organised, get my brain together, because I'm not really with it yet. And we'll see how we get on. So I've sorted out my car. Everything's back in its bags. And it's now just after 8 o'clock. And I'm going to go to my morning point to enjoy one last walk before I head home. Sadly, no more journey footage because I can't record it because I need my phone for Google Maps so I know where I'm going. So you're just going to have to bear with me on that one. Such a pain, but such is life. See you at the other end. I'm here. I want my walking point. It's quite windy here, so I've got the muffler on the end of my phone. And I'll show you a bit of it when I'm further down, because there's a nice walking path down here. So I'll spin you round and you can see what I'm doing. All right. So in front of you there is the Solway Firth, and if you took a boat or you walked or whatever and you carried on following the water to the right, you would end up at Glencapel where I was overnight. And the reason I'm here, I came here almost exactly 2 years ago. It's a research trip for my family history. So just up to the right is what used to be the HM Easteriggs site, and it was set up in 1915. to build artillery for World War One. In order to put the site in, they had to basically bulldoze a lot of communities, small places with, you know, a couple of farms, nothing very dramatic, and they shifted everybody out and they flattened their homes. And one of those little hamlets was called, well, it's invariably called tordoff, and that's where my family history came from. That tiny little collection of farmhouses and cottages and things. And I think there were only about like 8 buildings there or something. And it's where my great-great-great-grandmother was born on my father's side. So this area is where my Scottish ancestors come from. And I thought I would come back because I knew I could walk here and just get a feel for the place. So here I am. So this is what it is. Pretty lucky with the weather. It's a bit windy, but it's going to be really warm. Now there's a path there and there's a path there. I wonder where this one goes. I don't think I've ever been up this one. I wonder if we can see the fields where Easter eggs was. Oh look, here it is. So although they shut this down at the end of World War One, the site is still there, and I don't think they've decided what to do with it. I think that's the problem after all these years. So it's still HM land, so it's all boxed in. And there, you can see that there are some buildings still standing, but most of it's gone. I've walked this one before. There's not really anything to see because you can only follow the line of the fence and you can't really see in. There's nothing left of the old communities that used to be here. They took it right to the ground. But, you know, my ancestors as children may have played here. As adults, some of them might have, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming they were agricultural labourers, but maybe they came here and fished. Just down and round the corner there's Tordoff Point, which may have had boats coming off it, fishing in the Solway Firth. But this is where they were. This is the land they would have grown up knowing. And apart from a few graves in the graveyards, there's not really any other sign of any of those families here now. But this is a nice place to come. I love walking along the edge here. The bird watching is great. There are loads of waders out there. So I'm going to walk as far as I can down here. Wander, stretch my legs, and then head back to the car have a bit more food, and then probably head home. It's about, I think it's probably about 9 o'clock, 9:30 now. Just a nice leisurely morning. As long as I'm heading home by about 12, that'll get me there in good time to get myself sorted. I've really enjoyed these 2 days. 2 nights sleeping in the car has been easy. My cool box has worked really well. My milk is still partially frozen. It's still got ice in it. So that works really well. I could do more than 2 nights in my car, I reckon. So I'm going to do a bit of bird watching and just enjoy what I can see. So along this stretch here that you can see, when they demolished the Easter egg site, they left bits of materials, and there's brick and pottery and all sorts of stuff here. And last time I was here I picked up a handful of crockery pieces, like plates, china, bits of window glass, and it's fun to come here and see what you can find. So I'm going to have a look and see if I can pick up any more souvenirs. Here's another walkway through to the fence. I don't remember any of these being here 2 years ago. But they must have been, I guess. So I'll have a look. So somewhere out just to the left here and a bit further up would have been where my family lived. So all the buildings you see here now are related to the works here. And there's quite a lot left. And I don't know whether they've decided whether to flatten it all, keep it as a kind of reserve, or open it as almost like a visitor attraction. But it's quite a big site. Let's head back down. See if we can find any china. You get little pieces like this. I was going to put them on a board and frame them. And I've never got round to doing it. But I will have a look and see about doing that. I love mudlarking, stuff like this. Good fun. I found loads of pieces last time I was here. Doesn't seem to be so much here today. these weird, I don't know what that is. Is that some sort of weight for the water? I don't know. Bits of pipe work. Look, this is all pipe work here. You can see that. Some of it there. Big piece there. Which was probably all to do with the water for the site. So you got that blue and white thing there. Got a hole in it. No idea what that was for. So let's keep walking up a bit. See what other birds we can find. So here's an example of building remains that are left over from the factory, and I guess they've either collapsed the buildings and just pushed them down to the shore, or these are buildings that are falling into the sea. Who knows which? I mean, I'm guessing that this is related to the factory because of all the concrete, but there's also brickwork. So I'll have to look at the map. I'm not sure if there were proper old houses here that may be from previous times. We'll have to have a look. So right there in the distance, that is Tordoff Point. And I don't think I'm going to make it. This is a pretty dicey area to walk, as you can see. Slip down there, and I don't think you're ever going to get out again. There are ways through, but it's pretty dicey. And I'm not sure whether the shoreline is any better. I might give the shoreline a go. You can see there's a path here. Well, you can see that, I can see that. But I think I might try the shoreline, and if not, we'll give up and just enjoy where we are. It's really warm here. It's about 15 degrees here today. So it's a really pleasant walk. Don't know if you can see this. Literally as I'm standing here. Can you see that tide coming in? All of a sudden, it appears out of nowhere. Look at that. So I'm not going to make it all the way down there to Tordoff Point because there's a good chance I'm going to get cut off. But can you see the speed of that coming in? And it's pushing all the birds along. There are some swans there, and they were standing on the ground a moment ago, and now they're swimming. There's a huge range of birds here. So we've got the mute swans there, We've got a lot of black-headed gulls, oyster catchers. I've seen a lot of curlews, shell ducks. You can't see them out there, but there's a big flock of, it looks like pochards maybe. And that water, how fast is that coming in? Look, the swans are now swimming down. So all this was birds a moment ago, and in literally about 2 minutes, I don't know if you can hear it because it's quite windy, but you can hear the rush of the water that wasn't there before. So I'm going to start walking back because I think I've run out of time. So it's now almost 1 o'clock and I'm still in Scotland. I decided to come to the local museum, which is called the Devil's Porridge, which is named after the cordite that they used to make on the factory. And it looks like the farm that my family lived on wasn't knocked down. It looks like they built the site around it. So I found some documents there, which was really interesting, and then got chatting to an elderly lady who volunteers there, and she knows some stuff about family history, and she said that there's somebody in the area, a girl in her 30s, who's connected to one of the families here, who lives in one of the farms down here, and she's researching her tree. So she's given me her name, and I'm going to track her down on Facebook and see if I can find out what she knows. So I went into this museum. I'd never heard of the farm, the original people I spoke to. And then I found all the records. They had all these folders of records. And they had this folder of the auction of the site when they closed down the cordite factory after the war. And the farm is listed there as like an existing thing. So they must have just left all the farms there, because there were several farms in the area. They left all the farms there and built around them. So they were still here in I think it was 1919 they did the sell-off. So anyway, I'm going to head home now. Don't know what time I'm going to get home at this rate. Probably about 4 o'clock now, I would imagine. And exciting stuff. Things to do. Worth the effort. So that's it. I'm off. Scotland done again. Might be back for another trip. Sounds like there's a lot of research to do that I might need to come back up for. So that would be a good excuse.